What's going on, guys? My name is Spencer. This is SMG Garage. Today we're working on the Project 914 once again. Last episode we mounted the rear flares on the car. Today we're going to be mounting the front flares. So let's get to it. So guys, here is that front fender that we're going to be cutting up and ruining to mount that fiberglass fender on it. So we need to do a couple of things before we can get it mounted completely. Right here is a hole for a signal bulb, or lens rather, that goes there. That is getting deleted because it's in the way of the flare and I don't really like the way it looks. It looks too 70s for me. This is a big old rust spot that I need to do something about. I'm gonna grind it down and it looks like it's gonna go through all the way through. It's gonna go all the way through the steel, so I may have to cut it out and re-weld something in there, but if I can grind it down and just get good clean metal, then I would be happy with that. And as you can see, the wheels came in. So they're Diamond Racing 16x8s. These ones are, I don't remember the offset, negative 30 something. If you guys go look a couple episodes back, we calculated that. And then on the rear, also 16x8, but that is negative 64, as you can see. And the fitment is pretty good. I'm ordering tires here hopefully today, running a 225 45 16 and something sticky. So enough with that, let's get started on cleaning up this rust spot. So I got a 40 grit flap disc here and I'm just going to grind this down and see what it looks like once I get all the paint and chips off of it. So guys, disappointingly, but sort of what I expected, the rust is completely the way through. And this fender doesn't bolt off, like I can't unbolt it and remove it, which is unfortunate, but we'll deal with it. Basically, I'm gonna have to cut this section out and then just weld in a piece of steel. It's not too big of a deal. I mean, it's a 40-year-old car. It's sort of expected that it has some rust. This is the worst of it on the car, so I'm pretty happy with that. I don't like repairing rust, but I'm dealing with an old car, so it happens. So I'm gonna take my cutoff disc and try to cut out basically as close to a rectangle here and keep it nice and uniform so it's easy to cut out a new piece. And then we'll tack weld that in and make it look pretty. So looking at this, underneath here is basically just the unibody. I'm not even able to get to it from behind. I mean, I sort of can if I go through the door jamb. I can get through just to this side, but that makes it really easy to weld. All I'm gonna do is just cut out a piece of steel this shape, lay it in there, and then I'm gonna do a bunch of tack welds to keep it from warping the rest of the steel. And then I'll grind those down and a little bit of body filler and it should be not noticeable anymore. And I'm going to do the same thing with the little hole on the bottom that's down here. I'm not going to put that on camera though because it's the same exact process and just boring. So before I weld anything on here, I'm also going to spray it with some of this rust neutralizer stuff. I used this stuff in the trunk before I painted it. Basically make sure that this isn't going to keep on spreading once I weld the patch panel on top. So guys, these patch panels are all cut out and they fit in here pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that. My next step is to just weld them in. And I don't know if you guys know this, I just got this new camera. My other one died on me. You can actually do damage to a camera sensor, a DSLR sensor, from welding, from the light it puts out. So I have this lens that I'm gonna put over it, and I put it over there now, so you can't really see anything. But when I'm welding, you'll be able to see basically what I'm seeing. And I'm sorry I can't show the actual thing, but I just want to take care of this camera. It's an expensive investment and I don't want that to go to waste. So yeah, let's get to welding. So now that I have those all welded up, I'm going to turn my attention to the signal hole. I'm going to do the same process, cut out a piece of metal. Actually, I'll have to cut out 4 pieces of metal, 1 for each hole. Fit them to the hole. I'll use a magnet to hold it in there and then tack weld them in place. And then we'll be back after that. So there are my 4 patch panels. As you can see, fitment is pretty darn good on all 4 of them. So now I'm going to do the same as I did on these back ones and just use tack weld so that the metal does not deform, so I don't melt this lens up here. I may actually take that lens off so it doesn't melt. Yeah, tack weld them in, and then I'm going to grind both sides down and yeah, finish it up. So here it is all welded up, and here is this side all welded up. So now I'm just going to take my grinder and grind down all those welds and see how it looks underneath. So now that all the grinding is taken care of, it's nice and smooth. I'm going to do the same process that I did on the rear, where I sand down the spots where the fender touches the body, and to get it to where I can get it as close to the sheet metal as possible. Once I do a little bit of that, I'm going to cut out the panel basically, because it helps with fitment when I cut out the edge of the fender, because then the fender itself can flex a lot more and come to the fiberglass. So I'm going to start sanding and then cut out the fender. So guys, after cutting out the fender, I've been basically working on this a ton to try to get it to fit right, and I just want to have a little talk to you guys about fiberglass parts. They never fit right, and these ones are a huge pain in the ass. Basically just a ton of sanding and fitting and sanding and fitting and sanding and fitting until they fit as close as possible, and even then they're not great. I've tried to use heat to modify the shape of them a bit, but that only works so much. You can only modify the fiberglass with heat by a very small amount. So essentially what I've done is on the edges of these fiberglass panels, I picked up that stuff that old people put on their doors so that when they hit other cars with their doors, it doesn't dent them. Put that on there as like a fender beating sort of stuff, and that is gonna be what I have to do. It looks okay. I actually sort of like the look of it, and now that I have it on there, I really like it. I was sort of worried I wouldn't, but what it does is it fills in the gaps that are still there whenever I try to get them as close as possible, basically without adding fiberglass to them. It fills in the gaps and makes it to where they're essentially seamless. I mean, there's still a seam there, but to where they fit. So let me show you. So I don't have the front fender on yet, it's just taped on there. That's why it's so loose. But I did it to the back fender, which the back fender, even once I was finished with it, still had like gaps in here, especially along this seam. It had small ones along the top here, and then on the back was real bad. And on the back, looks pretty darn good. Look at that. So basically there's going to be a black edge around the fenders. Now that's alright. I mean, it has black hardware, it has a black roof, or it'll have a black roof. Well, I mean, I guess the roof is black now. But, so it'll all match. But it'll also keep like rocks and sticks and stuff from getting stuck in there, because I've heard that can be a problem with bolt-on flares. But it just cleans up the look a lot. So that's what we're doing. But I've got this as close as it's going to get. So I'm going to start marking and drilling the holes on this guy and mounting it to the fender there. So guys, I finished mounting up this front flare. The way I did it on this one is essentially I started with this bottom rearmost bolt. Actually the first two. I started with the first two, drilled those out, mounted them, and then from there I drilled this out, marked where the hole needed to be, drilled it through the body, and then attached it. And I did one at a time basically, and what that did is instead of doing them all at once, it made sure that I would basically have, like, say when I'm working on this bolt, I have these three in. What that does is it keeps it from flexing funny, because if you don't have the bolts in, then it's going to flex weird and it's not going to fit properly. But if you do one at a time, then these ones are already in. You know that that is where it needs to be to fit right. And basically the fitment came out pretty much perfect first try without having to do a bunch of work like I did on the rears, which I didn't really show. But let me show you how it turned out. So again, I have that fender beating on there, but as you can see, it's right up against the stock fender there on the top, nice and tight. If I push on it, excuse that, if I push on it, it does not move at all anywhere. Up on the front, nice and tight as well. So I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I have the wheels bolted up. I don't even know if I've shown you guys the, oh yeah, I've shown you guys the wheels. Got the wheels bolted up. Should be getting tires here in the next few days, and then I can basically roll it out and roll it in the other way so I can work on the other side. Again, not really going to show that because it's the same exact process. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Let's see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys leave a like down below if you guys like this video, and subscribe if you want to see more of these. Typically upload about one video a week, whether it's on this or some other topic. Always car related though. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think of how the wheels look along with the fender flares. I think the car looks pretty awesome. I'm really excited to see how it looks once it's sitting on the ground. So that's going to be it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and peace.